A small, balding man storms into a local bar and demands, "Give me a double of the strongest whiskey you got. I'm so mad that I can't even see straight." The bartender, noticing that the little man is a bit the worse for wear, pours him a double of scotch. The man downs the drink and says, "Give me another one." The bartender pours the drink but says, "Now before I give you this, why don't you let off a little steam and tell me why you're so upset?" So the man begins his tale. "Well, I was sitting in the bar next door when this gorgeous blonde slinks in and sits beside me at the bar. I thought, wow, this has never happened before. I mean, shit, it was a fantasy come true. A couple of minutes later, the blonde leans over and asks if I'd like to go to the hotel to have dinner and talk for a while. I couldn't believe this was happening and I hadn't had a good meal in quite a while. I nodded yes. So she grabbed my hand and started walking out of the bar. I could not believe it because it all seemed too good to be true." He continued. "She took me down the street to a nice hotel and then to a room. She said to relax, watch some TV and be ready to go down to the restaurant in a few minutes. But as soon as I put my feet up and reclined in my chair, I heard some keys jingling and someone started fumbling with the door. The blonde says, 'Oh my God, it's my boyfriend. He must have lost his wrestling match tonight and he's going to be furious. Quick, hide.' So I opened the closet, but I figured that would probably be the first place he would look, so I didn't hide there. Then I looked under the bed, but I figured he was bound to look there too. By now I could hear the key in a lock. I noticed the window was open, so I climbed out and was hanging there by my fingers, praying that the guy wouldn't see me." The bartender says, "Well, I can see how you might be a bit frustrated at this point." "Well, yeah, but I hear the guy finally getting the door open and he yells out, 'Who have you been with now, you bitch?' The girl says, 'Nobody, honey. Why don't you calm down?' Well, the guy starts tearing up the room. I hear him tell the closet door off its hinges and throw it across the room. I'm thinking, boy, I'm glad I didn't hide in there. Then I hear him lift the bed and throw it across the room. Good thing I didn't hide under there either. Then I heard him say, 'What's that over by the window?' I think, oh God, I'm dead meat for sure. But the blonde by now is trying hard to distract him and convince him to stop looking. Well, I hear the guy go into the bathroom and I hear water running for a long time. I figure maybe he's going to take a bath or something. When all of a sudden the jerk pours a pitcher of scalding hot water out of the window, right on top of my head. Look at this. I got second-degree burns all over my scalp and shoulders." The bartender says, "Oh man, that would make me mad too." No, that didn't bother me too much. But next the guy slams the window shut over and over on my hands. I mean, look at my fingers. They're a bloody mess. I can hardly hold on to this glass. The bartender looks at the guy's hands and says, "Yeah, buddy, I can understand why you are so upset. No, that wasn't what got me so angry though." The bartender then asks in exasperation, "Well, what did finally make you angry?" "Well, I was hanging on the window and I turned around and looked down. I was only about 6 inches off the bloody ground."